Hey guys, and welcome to this week's edition of the ZoShow podcast. It's been a little while since the last episode. We've had a few things happening with Ramadan, with Eid. This is episode 10 now, and this week's guest is someone who I've known for quite a long time. He's actually someone who, I have to say, he does love to talk, and he'll admit that himself, but that's not a bad thing, because actually on this podcast, we do love people who are engaging, who like to have conversations, and ultimately, the objective of this podcast is to always inspire people. And if you're somebody who wants to learn and grow to the next level in some capacity, you are in the right place. Don't forget to like and subscribe the ZoShow podcast channel on the little thing below. Do click the bell icon for any notifications. But as I mentioned, let's get to this week's guest, Harpreet Atwal from Atwal Wealth Management. Somebody who is, you know what, he's a superstar in his community, very supportive of not just me, but anybody who he works with. Like I said, we're going to be talking about a lot of things related to mental health today. We're going to be talking about an event that he's helping to organise in the coming weeks. And you know what, a few of the things that will also help you in your daily lives, and I'm sure we'll be discussing many other topics as well. But Harpreet, welcome to the ZoShow podcast.
Well, brother, it's an absolute pleasure to be on. Salaam alaikum, sat sri akal, namaste to everyone. Absolute pleasure. Always pleasure. You mentioned that talk. I will talk, but I hope I give you some lots and lots of little bites of wisdom today. Hope you're going to learn something from it.
Yes, well, I'm sure we will. Just firstly, for all the wonderful listeners and people watching on YouTube, just do a quick introduction about yourself.
Ooh, so married for 23 years. That's probably the most important bit. Business, 23 years. What else can I say? Run a mental health charity, and a family man, and I just love helping people, growing people. Biggest part of our life is probably our financial services business, where we concentrate on growing and protecting people's wealth. That's probably the biggest part of our world. Yeah. And you know what? It's interesting because you're involved in. You mentioned that you're involved in mental health, with charity, and you are somebody who I think you serve your community quite well. Community is quite a big word, I think. Sometimes when people talk about community. I just wanted to know, firstly, what is your interpretation of that word community? That's a really good point. I think you have to be of service of your community. So I'm seeking our good taught to kind of be involved, give back. Seva is a huge word in our culture and community, as in try to be involved in your community. And I think you can get so much from a community, so much from a support group, that I think we're starting to move away from communities, but I think we need to understand that your community can teach, learn, educate, and you can get so much from your community. So that's kind of what community means to me.
Yeah. And also, working in financial advice and obviously kind of wealth management. We'll get onto the business side of things. But you're somebody who works, like I said, you've been married 23 years. Congratulations, firstly, on that. But you work obviously with your wife. Shout out to Suki as well, by the way. Sorry, I do know Suki from previous years in networking. So if you're watching Suki, as I said, I just want to give you a shout out because I know her very well as well. Again, big respect to both of you for what you're doing. Just a little story about how you guys met, because I've heard the story before, but it's such a lovely story actually.
So we met at university quite a while ago in Bradford, studied in Bradford.
I would have never recognised the accent, by the way.
Well, I'm not from Bradford, I'm from Scotland actually.
Yeah.
I studied in Bradford. And I think it was the last week of the last term of the last year, ended up speaking to Suki and then met, and then lo and behold, about a year later, within a few weeks, I think I'd realised I wanted to marry her. Told her the truth of it. Yeah. He probably says it in a much nicer way, but I'll be honest about it. So something clicked straight away. Similar background, similar cultures, same like religious and everything, identity. Not that was a huge thing, but I think it just kind of made it effortless. And then, I think once her parents found out, it was a quick, you better get married. Yeah. Which that's a separate story. That one. Yeah. That was 20 years ago. And we were been together for, I think 6 months or something. And then before you know it, was kind of getting a date set to get married.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, years later, by God's grace, we've got some beautiful children. Yeah. And house, we live in the Midlands. We've moved to the Midlands now. So nice, good.
Yeah, good. That's incredible. Honestly, it's such an incredible story.
There as well. We've always been quite driven. I think I was speaking to someone else actually. Sometimes your friendships are made or your relationships are made when you've got similar goals.
Yeah.
And I'd probably recommend that. It's nice when you've got similar goals. So she was always a bit of an achiever. And a driver, and I was always a bit of a driver, and I think that's what attracted her to me, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Although I did tell her, and this is quite funny, that by the way, I will be bankrupt. Because apparently, from what I'd read, all successful people are bankrupt before they become makers. By God's grace, we've never been there. No, touch wood, we never go there. But so she still stayed with me even though I said that.
Yeah.
So I always said to her, I wanted to do something in business. I want to succeed. I want to make something of myself.
Yeah.
And my huge advice to anyone listening is if you are in a relationship, make sure the other person is making you a little bit better than you already are. Because she always has done that, always made me dream bigger than I already am.
Yeah.
Made me take that next step. If you're with someone, they should make you feel better than you think you are yourself.
Yeah. And I think I can see that, like I said, from meeting both of you, you definitely complement each other, and you're both such an influence, not just to each other, but I think to those around you as well. One thing I was going to ask you, you just said that anyone who's in a relationship, and you've just given some lovely advice there, some great words of wisdom. Do you still think there's a pressure sometimes for when people go to university, they come out, you still think in the Asian community that there's this expectation of once you get your degree, get married? Like, what's your view on that? And what was your experience when you finished uni? Was it that pressure as well?
So personally, no pressure. But I mean, I did meet Suki at university. But is there a pressure? Yeah, I think there is. And I think there's a huge pressure on me. I find this, we'll do the joke first. We've got to put some jokes in.
Yeah.
The joke is, don't meet anyone, for a girl, don't talk to any guys, don't talk to anyone, don't see anyone. Why are you talking to that guy? Why are you talking to the guy? As soon as they get back from soon towards the end of the university, have you met someone? Have you seen someone? And the joke of it is like, how are we supposed to meet someone? You brought us up in a way where we're not talking to him.
Yeah.
So, I think there is a pressure, putting the jokes aside, and the serious part is there is pressure to meet someone, but perhaps not at 21, 22 anymore, on 27, 28. And then you start heading to the point where people start thinking it's too late.
Yeah.
But we're a huge believer in Kismet, which is like whatever's meant to be. And I've said it to so many people, you'll meet the right person at the right time, I promise you. So be open-minded. Don't prejudge as well. Huge thing, part of the work we do in our mental health group is about non-judgment. Don't judge. He's from there. Well, he can't be good enough for me. Or she's from there. She's not good. She's from a rich family. She's from a poor. Don't judge, because whatever someone's state is at today, you don't know where they're going to be in the future. There's a famous joke. Let's see if I can get it. Not a joke, a saying about Barack Obama. He went with his wife to a restaurant, and then they ended up meeting the chef in the restaurant, and Michelle ends up saying to Barack, he said, how do you know the chef? He goes, we were school friends. So in fact, we were actually dating. And Barack turns to her and says, look, you would have been married to a chef. She said, no, I would have been married to the US president. He would have been the president, not you. As in, a woman can really make a man. Don't think anyone is anyone in this world. We all could be anything. And the person you meet today in 20 years could be anything. Never, ever judge anyone. I say to my kids as well, the person who's serving you today in a restaurant, in a few years' time, you could be working for him. Don't underestimate anyone. And do that in relationships as well. Just keep really open-minded. But if there's one book I'd recommend, which is The Secret, if you are looking for relationship advice, I really like that book, and it encourages you to have a positive attitude, open-minded in your relationship thoughts. And thanks for being invited onto this relationship podcast.
Well, I'm sure that won't be the last time that will touch on it.
Neil, I'm right a bit. I just feel we've worked together. It's a beautiful relationship because we're business minded as well, and that is the grey area. It's tough because you can kind of be too business focused all the time, and I have to remind myself that we're a couple. And we're very, very, very similar. Very similar in our drive. Got big ambitions, both of us.
Yeah. But credit to you both. Like I said, credit to you for the fact that you pursued not just your relationship, but your journey into business as well. And you're still going strong after all these years, which is fantastic to see. And again, we're going to touch on, this, not just mental health event, the topic of mental health, which is really important in the South Asian community, as it should be actually in all communities. But we are going to be touching a lot more today about why it's so prevalent, really, I suppose, in the South Asian world. And I suppose we might go a little bit deep in this podcast. And for those people who are listening and watching, I do, would love to get your thoughts as well. So please do leave comments, as I mentioned below. However, what is it, do you think, nowadays about mental health in terms of, do you think it's still something that is slightly misrepresented or misunderstood in the South Asian community?
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. I mean, I'm from the Indian community, and I can tell you certainly in the Indian community, and in fact, the whole Asian community, but I'll pick on the Indian community especially, when I'm meeting a bunch of guys, and if anybody mentions anything negative, worrisome, troublesome, fearsome, have a drink. You'll be okay. You should have a drink. As in, this will fix it. Let's be honest. Come on. Hopefully you're listening to this in a sober state. But let's be honest, like thinking about it practically, that makes no difference at all. All you are doing is numbing the pain for a night, 2 nights, 3 nights, however long.
That sort of like placebo effect, they call it.
100%, yeah. Achieve nothing. So we've got to get to the core root of the problem. What is going on? And if you ask yourself, have you genuinely got a friend you could have that conversation with? Like, have you... And that's the thing. You think you got friends, but have you got a friend where you could text and say, do you know what, I just need to talk. That doesn't mean I need to drink. Doesn't mean I need to go out. And I spoke to someone today, and I've had some very interesting calls at the moment. But spoke to someone today and said, you know what, sometimes you don't need to say anything. When you meet a friend, you just need to listen. And that's the bit we're all Indian, Pakistani, Asian. We all judge and we all comment straight away on someone's dress or someone's car or someone's things. Don't judge. And my biggest mental health advice to anyone, if someone says something to you, or if you are in an environment, just don't judge, don't comment, don't say anything. Let an auntie, if we pick on an auntie, poor auntie, an auntie say something to you, you're looking like this now, or you're this, or you're that. I mean, the stuff that people say is so harsh. You put weight on, you've lost weight. You literally cannot win.
You can't please everyone.
You can't not please everyone. There's certain people you will never please.
Yeah.
You're either too skinny or too fat or too working all the time. Mine was, you working all the time?
Yeah, everyone's got an opinion.
Mine was one that got me from some family actually was all you care about is work. All you care about is money. I'm thinking, thinking, well, this does not make sense. I'm actually doing it for the family. So people say things which get in your head, and they can knock your confidence, they can affect you, and you start to re-question yourself. Am I doing the right thing? Hang on a minute. You start to re-question it, and then ultimately it's about balance. But big problem in South Asian community. I don't think it's changed. In fact, I think it's got worse. I think there's so much pressure on younger people. Me and Suki were married in an age when marriages were quite simple. Weddings were quite simple. The wedding was so extravagant now that surely that must put some financial and emotional and social pressure on you.
Yeah.
As in, how, is my wedding better than yours? It wasn't. Genuinely 20 years ago, ours was quite straightforward. We just got married. My whole obsession was about getting married to Suki. That was it. I didn't really care about anything. Yeah. Got a few things that were nice and token things, but I certainly didn't spend thousands in a year's salary on a bunch of cars or a certain photographer or certain video people. No disrespect to the artists out there, before anyone catches me on that. No disrespect. You charge what you want, guys. That's up to you. People are blessed with money. You spend what you want. No issue at all, but live within your means. All I would say.
Great advice.
Live within your means, guys. Ultimately, you have to get married as a beautiful couple, and that's your start point. That's your seed capital. You need really a big cash sum on that day. The marriage, that's on day after marriage, not before.
Yeah.
And if, so focus on that. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of what you've said is, I think this stems from cultural expectations, or there's this stigma that's been created, for generations from, coming back from, like, let's say grandparents, great grandparents, and then it's been passed down. Do you still think some of that is still there? And if so, how do you think we can evolve and maybe get past that?
Genuinely, I think social media is amazing at the moment because people are just calling some of this stuff out. It's the fastest way. Some of these prejudices, some of these incorrect statements, incorrect way of people. And I'm seeing some really modern, open-minded families now. And that is my advice. If you want to be a successful parent, grandparent, if you want a great relationship with your kid, scrap the prejudices, scrap all these, you should do this, you should do that, we should speak like this, we should speak like that. I do it myself. It's so easy. We're born in it. We're born in a way where we've been brainwashed brainwashed. Thousands of times someone said to you, don't do this, you must do that. You must stand when this gets arrived. You must sit when this gets arrived. So it takes time to uncondition that.
Yeah.
It takes time to uncondition that. But listen to your spirit. Listen to your kids is probably the best. Let them be who they want to be.
Yeah.
And they're probably the best people, the younger generation, because they've got the courage to stand up. The younger generation is just calling this stuff out. Some of the traditions, and for example, at weddings, genuinely try asking someone, why do you do it? Nobody actually knows.
Yeah, I completely agree with.
Nobody knows. Yeah. This is made up traditions that get in there. And I'm a fan of it, by the way. I don't knock these traditions. You know, we do Southern where we give money to people after. No, you shouldn't do that. It's hated. Well, listen, if we stop doing it, it's gone. We're going to lose everything. So you may as well just carry on. Yeah. So I'm a big fan of all these traditions.
Yeah.
Do as many as you can, but don't take them so seriously. You know, the wedding's not going to go disastrously wrong if you don't do this or don't do that.
Yeah.
We pray for a reason.
Yeah.
Pray and ask for God forgiveness and acceptance, and just do what you do. Just carry it. The culture stuff, just take it in there.
Yeah.
Don't say no to it. I've seen where people have been harsh. And no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do my yard. I don't want to do my. I don't want to do it. Just go with the flow, man. It's a bit of fun, and your older generation will enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's still strong, I think.
I was just going to say, because obviously I got married last year, and some of the rusums and some of the, some of these, like, there's things like Dut Pilai on the wedding day, or like, I don't know if it happens in Indian culture, but like Hat Pilai and all that, like where you put money into the I think it's the girl's hand, the family's hand, when you get married and stuff. It's like, and even me, I used to think, is this necessary, or what's this actually about? But then I thought, actually, you know what? If it pleases, like, let's say your parents or the other family, or if it's just part of the routine, you could say, marriage, then just let it be, and then just let it happen. But in terms of like I said, going back to these expectations around culture with marriage, and I suppose with mental health in the South Asian community. When you talk about when people have an issue, do you think that it's addressed the way that it should be, or is there more that can be done to address these issues?
I think certainly, great question. I think certainly education needs to be to a lot of generation that it's okay if someone says they're stressed. It's okay. It's not plan koini, but it's okay. Koini, roti khala, or dal koini, you'll be okay. That's the bit that needs to stop.
What do you think maybe people are resistant to?
Because you got to remember the nature of our country is the person who was with a mental illness was shunned and were pushed away. Nobody ever sat with them and said, what is going on? Like, what's happened? Why have you? So we've got a culture of, if you're slightly different, you're pushed to the side. Yeah. So it's fear. Is that a good word? I think it's fear. I'm not. It's easy to say to my son, my daughter, carry on. Get to work, because if I go down that route of them being ill, that's me accepting them being ill. And then actually, to be honest, because of your great question, we're heading to it, embarrassment. What I don't want my neighbour and my friends and my sisters and brothers to know my son might be unwell. Yeah. He's a GP, the pharmacist, he's on this much salary, he's on that much salary. He hears that language, but you don't hear he's had to take 6 months off work and not feeling right.
Is it like a reputation, or maybe like a self-image thing?
Yeah, of course it is. It's a focus on others instead of you. I will tell you now, the most important person in the world is the above. Second is your wife and your kids. That's it. Yeah. Your family is the critical. You got to look after your family, not what others' opinion of your family is. Your parents, your siblings, respecting them all. But that little nuclear family, you need to keep that happy. Yeah. And if that means that person wants to have space. I've walked away from business deals because I knew it was causing some mental health stress issues in our family, in our relationship. We've walked away from business relationship because of that. Because I think that life isn't meant to be like that. Yeah. We're not taught all of this. But life is not meant to be stressful. Life's not meant to be painful. You're not meant to be depressed. But suddenly things do overwhelm us, and we do get like that. So we need our elders to say, okay, what's going on? With the this and it's that, and it's too much. Too many things are happening. And that's it. That's all. You just need an elder to listen to that person. And we had a great conversation with someone about, there was a time where we had a lot of grandparents and uncles and Jack and that environment with that big family living in the home, and it's not like that anymore. Sadly, it's quite lowly small houses now. And I say it, and I'll say it in English, but we've got big houses now, but we're kind of, the members of the family are quite small. The hearts have gone a little bit small now. Whereas if you think back maybe 30 years ago, a child would come home a little bit stressed out, and he'd sit on his granddad's knee or his uncle's knee, and he'd just say, oh, bloody hell, that's what happened today. Now we haven't got time for that, because there's only mum and dad, they're busy.
Yeah.
So, it's the embarrassment and the...
Or maybe you could say like a shortage of like an outlet, for example, where
you need to
individuals can express how they're feeling. And
absolutely.
You mentioned something really, really key around. I was going to talk about your own experiences, and you mentioned something around, and you walked away from business deals because it was causing anguish, or it was, there was like an overwhelming sense of stress or frustration. What I was going to ask you was, what do you think sometimes the indicators are, or the points at which people maybe either where they address something or they can walk away? Like, so what do you think is the time where people think, right, okay, now I'm going to walk away? When do you think, is there a right time, or is it just, is it just...
I think when is the right time? You've got to listen to your spirit. Health is absolutely everything. And try to not be... We're taught in school systems about, the technical way of making money, but I link the money bit to it. Whatever's meant to be, you'll make whatever money you're going to make. You're not going to make it in a weak, stressed, strained state. And even if you do, you're not going to enjoy it anyway. So in answering the when at the right time, it's as soon as possible. No one should be causing you mental strain. Mental health is a key aspect of our business, as in we genuinely care for our staff. If I see them strained, it's not productive for me to let them continue to be strained. Whether it's a personal matter or a work matter, it's irrelevant actually. I don't want to see them strained, because ultimately, if you're being harsh, the productivity will go down. Yeah. But as a human, we shouldn't be doing that. We shouldn't be putting our team members under that much strain. So the quick answer is, until the point it can't be fixed anymore, I would always suggest you should reach out for help.
Yeah.
Maybe some senior people in your family or senior family in the community, someone who's in a similar role, or ideally someone in the business. If you feel nervous about, it makes me lose my authority in the business department if I reveal that actually I'm absolutely detesting this job and I'm struggling because I'm doing 3 jobs in one, then you do need to call it out. I think you just need to call it out. I will promise you, any good employer will want to keep you. And if they don't, unfortunately, here's the harsh bit, leave. And if you do leave, you'll be happier. Ultimately, you will go and be more productive somewhere else. Because remember that in any religion in the world, we're not meant to be sad. Read any textbook you want in the world. All of them talk about we should be happy. We should wake up when it's sunrise, and we should go to bed when it's sunset. And in there, we should just work hard. Do not work hard under stress and strained and cry and get upset about how people are talking to us. No, we should just work hard, go to work, do a good job, come on. But be happy doing it.
Yeah. No, I like I said, I completely agree with everything, and I think you've summarised and sort of explained everything, I think, so thoroughly there, and it's amazing that for somebody, like I said, I think you've explained it so well, and all the kind of like the kind of like the pitfalls and the dangers of having that overarching sense of feeling stressed and whatnot. But what I always find amazing is that for someone like yourself, because you're so positive and you emit this great energy and whatnot, how can people, I suppose I feel like this is a bit of advice I can give people, is how can people remain positive even when they're going through a stressful time or a difficult period? How can they still maintain that positive energy?
Kindness to yourself.
Yeah.
First of all and paramount, you are the most important person in the world. Are you genuinely being kind to yourself? Are you taking a moment for yourself? Are you having a cup of tea on your own just to slow down? Are you meditating? Or are you just rushing around caring about everyone else in the world? What would they say on a airplane? Put your own mask on before you go and help someone else. So prioritize you, and it's not selfish to do that. It doesn't matter if whatever dynamics you've got going on in your family, concentrate on you is point one. Health, fitness, meditation, understanding that core principle of you are not meant to be sad ever. I'm a huge believer of energy. You just mentioned the word, the energy is good. Only because I stay in positive energy as much as I can.
Yeah.
But high energy is actually where we're supposed to be, all of us. So if you start feeling strained, you're heading in a low energy state. Why? What's happened? Is it because someone walked in the room who probably maybe has picked on you before, or someone said something? So straight away your reactors are up thinking somebody's going to say something to you. Then if they do, you stay quiet and you slowly exit the room. What else? Lots and lots of things can happen, worries about the future, worries about the past. The past was gone. Famous saying is the past has gone, completely gone, literally up to this moment here. There's no point worrying about the past. It is what it is. Whatever mistake you made, however embarrassing, however stupid, however much money you lost, it is what it is. Doesn't matter. We wake up and we move forward. That piece of advice is from Suki, actually. She's a key component of that. She obsesses with keeping calm and chaos and purity. So positivity is the only method of operating. You imagine, Zoe, we have a meeting. We only want it to be positive, but I have to come into it in a positive frame of mind. You don't really want to hear my troubles. There's another saying by Les Brown. 80% of people genuinely don't care about your troubles, and the other 20% are just not interested. They're just not bothered. Like, they listen, but 20% are not interested. Nobody really cares about your trouble. Don't tell them. So don't start out. Here's one for you. Don't tell people your trouble. Why? Because they're genuinely, I will tell you now, 80% of people are not interested at all. And 20% of people, will compare, or they'll actually be happy that you've got trouble. How sad is that?
I know.
That's the Latin Asian culture.
Yeah.
Horrible. This has gone full circle, and I hope you listen to the whole show. Zoe's doing some great questions. But I said it at the start that the person you're with, your life partner, should be building you up.
Yeah.
That actually should be everyone around you, if not get rid of people. So if people are with you, building you up, making you better, that's the people you need to be with. You'll know when you are, because I'll tell you how you'll know. You'll walk out the room and you'll feel a little bit better than you did before you met them.
Yeah.
And I know with 3 or 4 people like that, and you know they're on speed dial or text or WhatsApp or Snapchat, whatever, you need to make sure that at the top of your tree, you're not feeling high, sorry.
Yeah. And I think that it's a great connection that you brought back to the start of the show. And, like I said, I think it's all about positivity and championing those changes, particularly in our community. And we will talk more about that in our break, ladies and gents. So we're going to take a short break, commercial break. And then what we'll do is we'll come back after in the second period, and we'll talk about the event that Harpreet is helping to organise. We'll drop a link to that event in the description, but we will be elaborating on that a bit more. Also, we'll continue talking about things like Harpreet's business into journey to business, and then obviously we'll talk a little bit more about some of the stuff that Harpreet's working on. And like I said, the topic of mental health is really important. So guys, I hope you're listening, and those who are watching, please do comments on the YouTube channel. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and click on the bell icon below. So we're going to take a short break now, and we'll be back for the second half of the ZoShow. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the ZoShow podcast. We got Harpreet Atwal here from Atwal Wealth Management. And the first half of the show, we were talking everything about mental health, challenges that people may face and how they can overcome them. He gave some great advice about relationships as well, talking about business, how he got into business, and so many other topics actually. We're going to now talk about there's an event that Harpreet is helping to organise, and we're going to talk about the benefits of that event, and also maybe some things around things like productivity, how people can stay positive, and kind of the benefits of having a positive community around you, and what that can really how that can really serve you and the people that you're working alongside. So Harpreet, just before the break, we were talking a lot about mental health, and you gave some really good nuggets, and you were rolling off these really great quotes and these rule expressions that you were giving about, the 80-20 rule, and talking about, when people have fears, it's best to face them. So we'll talk a little bit about that now. Now, one thing this week I've tried to do is, or of late, is when, people make to-do lists, and they always say, I want to do this, I want to do that, and there's probably a point in there's probably a point a few years ago where I thought, right, I want to do a podcast, so I want to start the ZoShow. I remember for months, I sat there and I thought, right, I've got to do it. And funnily enough, it's only when COVID came around, I think that's when I thought, I'm going to do it. Now, there's a saying that adversity always brings around opportunity, but in your opinion, when people have this thing of when they say, I've got all these great plans. I'm going to do something, you know, I'm going to take over the world. And there's no doubt they could probably do that. But what do you think either stops people, or what do you think those roadblocks or mental barriers are that people have, and how can they overcome that?
Oh, great question. Let's do this. Let's go for it
now.
Embarrassment, fear, worry of all that's going to say. No one gives you know what, I promise you, no one cares. Let them judge.
Fear of judgment.
100%. The amount of people that must die, and with I should have done this, I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that. Here's the one. Are you ready for this? You do not know how long you want to live. We don't, do we? Get this as fast as you can. You got a goal, you got a dream, get on with it as fast as you can. You want to leave the old mark on the planet with your dream, you got to get moving with it as fast. Put the pace on, really as fast as you can. Stop thinking about this. In 3 years, I'm going to do this. In 10 years, I'm going to do this. In 5 years, I'm going to do this. If you've got something to do, I agree you can't do everything. But pick one thing and absolutely go for it with all or everything you've got about you. Be clear with your written goal, whether it's a financial goal, whether it's a personal goal. Zoe mentioned I want to do a podcast. Write that down. I want a podcast. Don't care how many subscribers you got, don't care how many viewers you got, but make sure you are whacking that content out. So just pick something. And by the way, it's a good thing to be scary. That fear, when we're trying something new, it's just because you haven't done it before. That's all. There's nothing to worry about. The first time you rode a bike, or the first time you started learning English, you weren't great at it, let's be honest. And isn't it such a weird world that we grow up in an environment where we're trained in school to learn English. Nobody judges. Teachers are so kind and so respectful and let you learn mistakes. And then suddenly we become adults and we make one mistake and we feel a fool. You know, we feel so embarrassed. Oh my God, I've done this podcast and it all went wrong. My first ever speech, I'll never forget it, was a disaster. I hated it. Went completely wrong. And then now I've performed in front of hundreds of people. I've done an international speech here. You know, it is what it is. You know, get on with it. What's that book? Feel the fear, do it anyway. Feel the fear though, because that just means you're doing something different.
I think the saying that kind of aligns with that is get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's not the
Get comfortable feeling. If you want to be successful, I told someone in the office today, you want to achieve in life, guess what? You're going to have to be different. To be different, you're going to have to be uncomfortable. You're going to have to either wear different clothes or do different things or wake up a little bit earlier than the rest of the family and the cultural environment. You're going to be the different one. People are going to talk about people and can't accept it. Because why? Because you want to make a difference. So people are going to pick on you because you want to make a difference to the world. Let them pick on you. The above's watching or the human spirit's watching, and the spirit will be more grateful. I'm going to pick on you, though, that you've done something on the planet. Trust me, that relationship with the other guy goes, you know what, Zoe, you gave it your best shot, mate. You gave it your best shot. I give you credit. You did something for one man, for one person. Yeah, so if you, one other thing I realized, I used to be so scared of speaking. And I used to think, oh, there's no way I can speak. Well, guess what? That guy who's on the stage speaking is actually you 20 years ago or 10 years ago. And it's just that he's had more experience and he's done more events. So the reason why get comfortable, be uncomfortable is a great saying, is get used to falling off the bike. Like, again, back to the kid learning English. He wasn't amazing from day one and just went blah, 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 started reading. Yeah. You did like a lot of mistakes. The same with business, same with life. You know, go for that promotion, go for that job interview. If you fail, who cares? Doesn't matter. You learn from it, get the feedback and learn and grow from it. And on like that. Go for that. Scary. And here's the big one. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Go for the biggest client. Go for the biggest deal. What's the worst that's going to happen? The customer says no. Yeah. Ultimately, I will assure you, everyone on the planet, everyone is going to die. So as much as you're not as good as your competition who are amazing and rich and this and that, and then with all respect, they're not going to be around forever. So you can not necessarily fill their place because they've got their role in society and the planet, but you can do your thing and you are you. So pick it on me. I am Harpreet. There's only one Harpreet Atwal. That's it. Done. You want me, you get me. You want someone else, that's fine, but there's only one me, and I'm going to fill my position. I'm going to do the best of my ability. And everybody needs to think like that. You are the absolute best. You don't need to compare yourself to anyone else. So, that's my huge motivational boost.
Yeah.
Feel it here and there anyway.
Well, it
go for it.
Definitely is, honestly.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm pretty sure the people listening and watching are getting a great energy boost from that. And I was actually gonna connect that back to yourself in terms of when you started out in business. Obviously, when I think when people start anything, whether it's a business or a podcast, and a gym routine or could be anything, and I'm pretty sure you had those same fears or you had reservations when you first started out. What was it? What was your biggest lesson when you first started out in business, and what did you do to help combat that and kind of improve the journey as it went along?
Things have changed, and they do as you mature in business. I read a lot, I learn a lot. There's probably one quote is hang around with, like if you want to be financially successful, hang around with successful people. Yeah. You'll pick nuggets of wisdom off them. Little things you'll start. He goes to the gym at 6 o'clock every morning. He goes to bed by 9:30. He doesn't drink, or he does drink, but he doesn't drink excessively. These subconscious little tips you'll pick on. He'll have a picture of a car on his desk that he's striving toward. He's paid off his mortgage, and on and on. You get the idea. They're not saying anything to you. You'll just get along the hints, as opposed to something negative or something disrespectful. So I've always been blessed with what you mentioned at the start, which is I know how to talk, and I'm absolutely confident. And I will encourage you. I promise you, go to the most successful person you know and ask them for help, or just be nice to them and ask them how they started in business. One of my most interesting conversations was with a very wealthy Indian uncle of mine, and I asked him, "How did you start?" And I'll never forget it. He started by having a dream. Ultimately, the fact that he was uneducated was in English. He just understood math. If I buy a house at £600, I get £30 rent a month, and it just makes sense. So it's like the maths, but he can't read, he can't write, but he understands math. So hang around with wealthy people. Again, that was an example, just being kind, and I just listened to him, and then he started telling me stories. And then you'll suddenly, as you get older and older, you'll realize that, hang on a minute, that guy, I can be that guy. I'm no different to anyone. And I promise you, you're no different to the most successful person in the world. It's just that they have been brought up in a certain environment. I can guarantee 1 billion% they have no fear. And they just have confidence. In the craziest moment, I've hung around with some really confident people. I was with, I'm part of a group called Open Work, and I was with the managing director in the US and the chief exec. And just happened to be walking in the street in the US, and they saw me after this huge conference we attended. They were like, what are you doing? What are you doing? I said, nothing. And by the way, this is another thing. Say yes. Anytime someone invites you to something or an opportunity comes your way, just keep saying yes. So they're like, what are you doing? Oh, yeah, I said, nothing. I'm just going for some lunch, and then I was going to head back to the hotel. No, we're off to baseball. You coming with us? So we went to a baseball, had no idea what was going on. And the confidence these guys had. So he set a goal. The MD was like, I want a baseball. I'm going to get a baseball during this match. And I don't know if anybody knows about baseball, but really fast. The baseballs got hit into the stadium, and you can kind of collect them. They don't collect them back, so you collect the baseball. Second goal, he went, I want the autograph. I'm thinking, this guy's got some courage. We're in a different country, okay, we speak English, but he just went up to a little kid got the ball. Bless him, 7-year-old kid or someone's got this baseball. He went up to the parents of this kid, I've come from the UK, I want one. Would you mind if I took the baseball? Yeah, fine, have it, man. So firstly, he got the baseball. Then he went and got the autograph from the players at the end. And my point is, I was just witnessing their confidence. Just were fearless, just ran straight up to the player at the end and went, will you autograph that? And then they got another autograph and another autograph. So you'll see that with me as well. Any celebrity, however big you are, if I'm in the room and I'm interested and I like you, I'll walk up to you. Completely fearless to it.
Yeah, just go for it.
Just fearless to it. What's the worst? I'll tell you now, all celebrities are wonderful, kind humans who want to serve the planet. They put a shell up, some of them, because they've been hurt and they've got fears around them. But genuinely, if you capture them at the right time, in the right space, and you're respectful to them, you don't just walk up to them with a camera, and you talk to them with respect, they'll always be kind to you. And I've found that so much. So feel the fear, do it anywhere, be confident, speak to anyone, do anything you want, pick up the phone. One of my biggest ever business deals, no joke, was from picking up the phone randomly to to a property developer, telling them that we sold property, and invited me to a meeting, and we got a huge contract. Just from like complete cold call, picked up the phone.
That's amazing. Yeah. You see, and that I think a lot of that also comes down to belief. And I was at an event yesterday, with one of our future guests. Actually, I'm not going to ruin it and say who. Harpreet knows who it is, but we're not going to ruin it. However, it was talking about the power of belief. Talking about like before you do something, you have to believe that you can achieve in order to get the result. Yeah. And I think going back to your the event that you've helped to organise, I'm guessing a lot of that is around that sort of topic around like how we can believe in ourselves and how we can nurture those kind of feelings to make sure that that we're manifesting what we want to do and achieve in our future. And I think what's your opinion of the word belief actually? And how powerful is that?
Make believe is a huge word. I want you to start thinking like children. There's a famous quote, fake it until you make it, and people laugh at that quote, but don't laugh at it. It's serious. Like act as in the person you want to be. So start to understand. Let's pick an example of the person you want to be is the greatest financial advisor in the world. I'll do it on me. How does that guy behave when Zoe walks in the room to do business with him? How does he behave when he walks into the office, his own office at 7 a.m. or 9 a.m. in the morning? So start to think and act as if whoever the person is you want to be. Would he be ethical? Would he be respectful? Would he be polite? Would he treat his staff respectfully? Would his office be absolutely immaculate? And on and on and on. You get the idea. So make believe is huge. Visualize living in that dream house. Visualize driving that car wherever you want to drive, because anything is possible. Any amount of money in the world, I promise, is possible. But you've got to believe it. Not me. I don't need to believe it. You need to believe it's possible. Like the person themselves. And this is why the rich get richer. They don't make believe anything. They're already wealthy. So for them to go and start $1 million business, they just get on with it. Yeah. And then there's us going around in circles and circles. And then you go to other countries where people are just absolutely flying in business. So likes attract to like. Sometimes you'll see Birmingham, for example, create seed hubs and central hubs where lots of businesses group together. That's why, because you're kind of like, you've managed to build £1 million turnover already. I've only just started this one. And then suddenly that business becomes successful. So I do, back to summarising it, hang around with people in the world you kind of want to head to, read about them, and make believe a little bit. It's okay to visualise. I used to, you'll often hear, especially in our culture, someone says, I want to be a millionaire, I'm going to be successful. And you hear sneakers and everybody pick on someone with that dream. Let them dream. The guy wants to take over the world and create something like Amazon. The guy who created Amazon was bonkers. Yeah. And, look at him now, so genius. So let the crazy person be crazy and think of this crazy goal, but you encourage them. That's where you need to chip in as a supportive team member, family member. Yeah, you want to go for that goal, you go for it. But you don't, caveating this, I hope you're still listening. Yeah. Be careful who you tell your goals, actually. I've just made a bit of a broad statement there about having big goals. Be careful, actually. That's my biggest lesson I've learned. Yeah. Don't tell everyone your goals. Tell the right people, you saying? And you couldn't even just keep it completely private to yourself. You couldn't help one or two people back to the partner if you're married. Yeah. Your partner should be supporting you. Your partner shouldn't be saying you've got no chance. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing. If she is speaking out, one, you do need to consider telling them. You shouldn't be telling them, or, we need to have a serious chat about this. If I want to do something, I need your support. Yeah. I need you to trust me for a year. Ask people to give you the bridge of trust. Give me 6 months, give me 1 year. We were in the Midlands for 2 years, and 96% of our clients were still in the north. And I turned around to Suki and I said, I do not see the advantage of us living here in the Midlands. I'm actually exhausted. I had sciatica, I had back pain, or I've worked for a few weeks. And I said, Suki, and she said one great thing. She said, let's give it 12 months. So we set a goal for 12 months. Within setting that stated dated goal of 12 months and doing everything in our power to achieve that goal, which meant closing my office in the north, making 4 staff redundant, and setting up a proper office here. I was kind of like hedging between both. Yeah. That's an example. Set a goal. Don't need to tell anyone. You don't need to tell anyone at all. Just get focused on your goal and focus on it. Yeah, yeah. I don't remember if you tell someone, sorry to interrupt. Probably you tell someone, you'll get their view of it. I'm not going to lie. I'll judge you sometimes. I'll say something and it's wrong. You shouldn't. whatever somebody wants to achieve is possible.
Yeah.
So,
because it will skew.
They'll say to you,
It'll skew your perspective of
their school upbringing, their upbringing with their parents, perhaps, let's be honest, perhaps their judgment, as in, I don't want you, and I see this so many times in our Asian culture, subconsciously, they don't want you to be as successful as them.
Yeah.
So they'll say, you can't do that. What do you mean you want to buy a property? No, it's a bad market now.
Yeah.
But
They want you to do well, but not better than them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need to...
It's a strange saying I've always thought, actually.
Yeah.
It's an odd statement.
Because they're not true, loving, genuinely people that want you to be hugely successful, are they? I will tell you the truth. To find those people is very, very, very hard, which is why just keep private and be prepared to change your friend circle. I've seen it 4 or 5 times in the last 20 years. People start judging me. I've just slowly walked away from certain circles because they've judged me, or they've started speaking a bit different to me, or they've been disrespectful to myself or my wife or the family, just because I happened to be successful in something that I wanted to do. And you knew, you're my best friend, that these are my dreams. Like, you should be wanting me to And to be honest, we're nothing really like, this is nothing as far as I'm concerned that I didn't even started. And so, it'll never stop. So your relationship is very spiritual to you. Yeah. The above will decide how big or little you want to be. No one else.
Yeah. Stay humble, stay focused,
stay grounded,
focus on your goals.
It's nothing unknown. Means that you have this great saying, which is whatever we have can get taken away straight away. Will we still be happy though as a couple of the family? Yeah. No matter what, will we? And that's the bit you're constantly working on. That's a separate show that about.
Yeah.
But we'll concentrate on the development. If you like this, guys.
No, I keep the comments coming in, guys, and those are listening. Hope you're taking some great nuggets from it. But one thing I do want to say actually is that I've always noticed when I've seen you at events or seen you at certain things where there's music or dancing and that sort of stuff, you get involved and you're straight in there. Is that just natural energy? Is that just something that you've just always been? Is it just something that's infectious?
Well, always at the heart of giving energy and being kind to people. By God's grace, I'm really humbled by the Birmingham community. So we've got a lovely community, very supportive. Yeah. There's some lovely people who encourage me to be a little bit crazy than I normally am. Naturally, I am probably a bit of an actor, dancer, fun-loving person. So if you kind of encourage me, just be prepared that I might start dancing. It doesn't take much for me to start dancing.
Just get up, which I've seen.
It comes from not fearing what anybody's going to say. If my relationship with either the actor, the singer, the people around me, I literally do not care what somebody will judge me about. And I'd encourage you to all do that.
That's strength, by the way, to have. Because that's, sometimes that's people's biggest fear, isn't it? We talk about fear of judgment, opinions, but you don't care, It's like,
And I'm not saying I do it for this reason, but certainly in a professional environment, not necessarily the dancing, but let's say about, when they do that thing at the end of a workshop, anybody got any question? One thing I've learned, if you want to be recognized, and listen, there's a rule, and I presume the audience is there's a lot of Asian or ethnic minorities on this show. However, speaking to all minorities, listen, as an ethnic minority, with all respect, you have to try twice as hard to be recognized. And one thing I'll give you a quick, easy hint on is make sure you're recognized in the room. Not necessarily the dancer, let's be professional. Let's say in a workshop environment where they say ask a question. Ask a sensible question. Make sure Harpreet or whoever your name is recognized. Come 5 minutes early, stay 5 minutes longer at the end. Speak to
stamping your credibility.
Make sure that speaker or that team, that head office team, and when you see that chief exec of your company in the team, make sure that chief exec knows who you are. Don't lose these chances by staying shy and quiet. Just, this is who I am. Make sure they know who you are. My whole world is based on relationships, connection, and people I've met. My whole opportunity is down to people I've met. And like I said, you'll be shocked how kind, highly successful, everyone is. Everyone is kind. It's just, you judge them sometimes. And he's a billionaire. Or he's this, he's that. He's going to be cocky. He's going to be rude.
Particularly within our own communities. And like I said, I mean, at the time of this recording, we've had Eid, we've had Vaisakhi. Yeah. I think amongst even the inter-religious or inter sort of ethnic communities, we've had these lovely occasions, marking certain religious events and stuff. And what's great to see. One thing I really loved was that we had people, in certain areas of Birmingham where there was an Eid bazaar or something. Yeah. You had people from the Sikh community, Hindu community.
Good.
Christian community, whatever it was, and vice versa. I'm pretty sure for Vaisakhi as well. Like, and it's you know what? I just feel like now things are evolving and people are now becoming,
Yeah, as I'm maturing and getting older, I've realised I actually love all humans and all people, and that was a big philosophy of Sikhism. But putting religion to the side, just remember we're all human. I heard a great quote the other day. Actually, you didn't choose this religion; you were born into it. So remember, ultimately, you are a human, and a human should be kind to other human. Like, we should be welcoming Vaisakhi. I love Birmingham for that reason. The multiculturalism is superb. I'm a huge fan. I've just come back from India. There's this huge perception that there's racism in India, and especially to the Muslim community, they're kind of short-changed. I didn't see it at all. Didn't see it. Masjids, mandirs, gurdwaras, all in the same space.
Yeah.
My friend is from Mumbai, a hugely successful financial advisor in Mumbai, and I remember saying to him once, "Oh, is he Muslim?" He said, "Harpreet, we don't even know. We don't go down that route. We're all just brothers, and we all go for dinner. We're all together."
Yeah.
And there's that huge friendship relationship, and that's me. You'll find me treat everyone equally, and I encourage everybody to do that. Treat everyone equally, because we can all learn from each other.
Yeah.
I attended my first ever Pakistani wedding this last 12 months. I find it fascinating. Very, very similar to ours, but slight differences. And it's just we can all learn from each other.
No.
How do we break down religion though by understanding each other's culture?
Yeah.
Let's understand. Let's have some time. Let's not judge. Just because somebody's wearing this T-shirt, that means they're this, they're that. No, that's what your parent. Let's be blunt here. No, that's what your parents or your environment taught you. You didn't actually see that person do something bad to you.
Yeah.
So don't judge. Yeah. I'm very strong on this topic. Don't judge someone, or in that English saying, don't tie them all with the same brush. Don't treat every human on the planet as unique, and treat everyone with respect, and you'll get it back. And you don't know what. And talking about getting back, don't aim to get anything back of anyone. Just be nice. You might be that difference between them having a really bad day and a good day. I was in a post office the other day in Knoll, and this lady walked in with a purple jumper, and sometimes I'm in this joking mood. She's like, "Oh, that's a nice jumper," and she went, "You know what? You've made my day. I was having a terrible day." And it's just human. Still nice girl, nice old lady. She's just so happy. I was only joking. I was just in a jolly mood, chatting to my post office lady at work. Well, yeah, you get the point.
Well, it's great energy. That's the main thing. Great energy. Yeah. You've just given. You gave, like I said, that there. What you just gave was a brilliant. Like I said, it's a brilliant tip, but also I think it was very. It's a great way of actually kind of like almost inspiring people to be collaborative. One thing that we always end the show on actually is I wanted to just get like maybe a closing thought or some final thoughts, or maybe just a message to people watching and listening. What are your, if there is a final message that you want to leave people with, what would that be?
Be kind to all humans. Anything is possible. Kindness above anything. You do not know what you're going to get from someone, so don't expect anything. Listen to people. Don't judge. Let them explain to you what's going on in their world. You don't need to fix all their problems. Anything truly, I promise you, is possible. Anything you want to be in this world. You want to be the richest in Birmingham. You want to be this. You want to, anything. You want to do it. Just go for it. But set a clear, defined goal. Break it down. Set a date on it, and break it down to a smaller amount, and step by step like that. That's what I would suggest.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, Harpreet, honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, and thank you so much for coming on. And I have to say one thing, guys, that for people who are listening and even watching now, is that when I gave Harpreet the call to come on, I couldn't have had anyone who was more enthusiastic to come on, because straight away you were like, I want to come on and I want to spread some positivity, and you've definitely done that. So I really want to thank you for sharing your personal experiences and also giving people a lot of wisdom and some fantastic advice, which I hope everyone's benefited from, by the way, guys. So if anyone's listening to this on the radio, and if you're watching on YouTube, guys, as I mentioned, please do keep tuning in every week on Unity FM. A big shout out to Unity FM, actually. I don't give them enough credit, because they provide me the space to operate this podcast and, this wonderful studio. Also, Right Idea as well, a content writing service from my good friend Sarah English. So we need our sponsors and partners to help us keep driving this show. So a big shout out to them, first of all, and also you listeners, guys. So thank you for tuning in for another wonderful podcast. Like I said, guys, please do like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for any notifications. We will keep you updated on our upcoming guests, so please do keep following on our social media pages. And like I said, guys, thank you for tuning in again once more to the ZoShow, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you very much.